Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss the problem on steam nozzle. So I've taken a very important problem with or without considering the frictional losses. Now I'm reading the problem. In a steam nozzle, steam expands from 16 bar to 5 bar with initial temperature of 300 degrees C and mass flow of 1 kilogram per second. Determine the throat and exit areas considering case 1 expansion to be frictionless and 2 friction loss of 10% throughout the nozzle. So by reading the problem, you have to understand what is to find, what all the data has given. So at first, look at the first line, the steam nozzle. Steam expands from 16 bar to 5 bar. Nozzle is a device which is used to increase the kinetic energy and the pressure is dropped. And hence here it is expanded from 16 bar to 5 bar. Therefore, the pressure drop as shown here. The process in the nozzle is expansion. The expansion process is carried out in the nozzle. Therefore, the expansion is isentropic. Therefore, for isentropic expansion, the entropy remains constant throughout the process. So, therefore, due to expansion, the 16 bar pressure is converted to that becomes 5 bar pressure. That it shows the pressure drop. And with initial temperature of 300 degrees C. Therefore, the initial pressure has given and the final pressure has given. Therefore, the initial inlet pressure at the inlet and pressure at the exit has given. Where initial temperature also given 300 degrees C. So therefore, we can identify the initial condition of the steam is superheated because of the superheated temperature has given. Look at the next line, the mass flow rate of 1 kilogram per second. The mass flowing through the nozzle is 1 kilogram per second. Still, we don't have any idea which type or which kind of nozzle is asked in the problem. Look at the next line, determine the throat and exit areas. Convergent divergent nozzle only have the throat region. The convergent nozzle having inlet and exit, and divergent nozzle also having inlet and exit region. Only convergent divergent CD nozzles having the throat region. So look at the diagram given above. There are we are dividing into three sections. Section 1 is the inlet region, section 2 is outlet region, throat region, and 3 is the exit region, right? We have divided into three parts. So first of all, we need to understand the thing before solving the problem in nozzle, in steam nozzle. We need to know what is the condition at the specified region. What is the condition or the quality of steam at the specified region? For example, say at the region 1, that means at the inlet area, at the inlet region, what is the quality of steam? That means whether it is a dry steam or wet steam or superheated steam. Here in this problem, it has given us the temperature, the superheated temperature of 300 degrees C. So therefore, the inlet, the initial condition of the steam is superheated steam. Therefore, at each and every region, 1, 2, 3, before finding the parameters like enthalpy or entropy, we need to find the quality of steam, whether it is a dry, wet or superheated. Okay, so after the given data, they determine the throat and exit areas. That means throat A2 and exit area A3. But in for two cases. One is the expansion is frictionless, and second one is the frictional loss of 10% throughout the nozzle. The first case will not consider the friction. Therefore, there would be a no losses. There would be no loss. Therefore, efficiency is equal to 100 percentage. In the second case, there is a 10 percentage of frictional loss. Therefore, 10% of the heat has been lost. therefore with considering the friction. Therefore this problem having both the friction, both considering friction and not considering the friction. Let's come to the problem. At first we are going to find the parameters for the initial condition. The initial condition has given as P1 is equal to 16 bar and T1 is equal to 300 degrees C. As we know, the initial temperature of the steam is superheated. With the help of the steam table, we can observe or we can take the reading from the steam table. So I am going to the steam table. I ask everyone to look out here. In the steam table, I have taken the superheated tables. So this is a specific volume table of superheated steam. Next one is a specific enthalpy table for finding the value of H1. The pressure is 16 bar. I am taking the 16 bar. Here the 16 bar. And the temperature given is 300 degrees C. So here the 300 degrees C. So therefore for 16 bar and 300 degree, the value is 3036.2 kilojoule per kilogram. Next I am going to the specific entropy table. Here also the same 16 bar pressure, the temperature is 300. Therefore the S1 value, the entropy at the inlet is 6.887 kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin. Okay, so these are all the values we have taken from the steam table. So therefore all the parameters for the inlet region has been found. Then the throat region. If the throat region pressure has not given means so for the throat region we need to know the quality of steam. What is the quality of steam at the throat? The pressure in the throat is said to be a critical pressure. Critical pressure is nothing but the pressure where the area is minimum is said to be a critical pressure. In the convergent divergent nozzle, the throat region having very lesser area, therefore the pressure acting near the throat is said to be a critical pressure. To find the critical pressure, there would be a formulation that's shown in the display. P2 divided by P1 is equal to 2 by n plus 1 the whole power n divided by n minus 1. So here I am going to find the value of P2, the critical pressure or a throat pressure. Remaining all the values are known. P1 is 16 bar as given in the problem, given data itself, and n value is unknown. But the condition is n is equal to 1.135 for saturated steam and n is equal to 1.3 for superheated steam. But here the initial condition of the steam is, or inlet condition of the steam is superheated, hence the n value is taken as 1.3. Therefore by substituting all the values except the P2, we will get the value of P2. That P2 is equal to 8.73 bar. That's all. Therefore the pressure at the throat region has found out. Then from the steam table, for the same pressure 8.73 bar obtained from the previous step, we are taking all the values for finding the value of X. X is a dryness fraction. X is the dryness fraction of the steam. X can decide whether the quality of steam is dry or wet or superheated. If the value of X is equal to 1, the steam is said to be a dry steam. If the value of X less than 1 is said to be a wet steam. If the value greater than 1 is said to be a superheated steam. Right? Therefore, we are going to, we doesn't know, still we doesn't know what is the quality of steam at, near the throat region. Therefore, we are going to find the value of X2 first. For finding the X2 value, we are searching about the formulations. What are all the formulations we have? At that time we are using the wet steam formulae, wet steam entropy relation. S2 is equal to SF2 plus X2 into SFG2. As we discussed in the beginning, the expansion process is isentropic. the reversible adiabatic process. For the reversible adiabatic process, there should not be any entropy change. There will not be any change in entropy. So therefore, the entropy is constant throughout the process. Therefore, the entropy acting at point 1 is equal to the entropy acting on the point 2 and entropy acting on the point 3. These three are equal. Therefore, S1 is equal to S2 is equal to S3. There is no change in entropy because the process is isentropic. No adiabatic process. There should not be any heat transfer taking place. Therefore, the entropy remains constant throughout. And hence, instead of S2, we can put S1 value because S2 is equal to S1. S1 we have found in the first step itself. By applying all the values except the value of X. X2 is unknown. SF2 and XFG2 we have taken from the steam table. When we look out, the pressure P2 8.73 bar, we are rounding up the value because 8.73, the exact value is not available in the steam table. Therefore, we are moving to the steam table. The pressure is 8.8 bar. So look at here, saturation table, I am referring the pressure table because the pressure is the known value. Yeah, this is the saturated water and steam table for pressure. I am taking 8.73 bar. I am searching 8.73 bar. Look out here, 8.6 and then 8.8, which is very nearer to 8.73. So I am considering 8.8. I am taking all the values of 8.2, 8.8 bar pressure. Here, the first column there is a VF and VG. This is on HF, that is the enthalpy of water 2032.8. The HFG, this is a evaporation, enthalpy of evaporation, and 2771.3, it is the enthalpy of dry steam, and SF value 2.085, this is the entropy of the water, and 4.542 entropy of evaporation, and here 6.627 entropy of the dry steam. The units are for specific volume, the unit is meter cube per kg. For the enthalpy, kilojoule per kilogram, and for entropy, kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin, right? So we have taken all the data from the steam table. Now, okay, look at all the data we have taken from the steam table, and here the formula is S2 is equal to SF2 plus X2 into SFG2. So from the previous step, for 8.84 we found the value of SF, SFG, and S2 we know that S2 is equal to S1, hence all the values are known except the value of X2. By substituting all the values, by calculating, we will get the value of X2 as 1.06, that is 1.059 as rounded 1.06. Hence, as I already told you, the value of X is greater than 1. Therefore, the condition of the steam at the throat region is superheated, right? Then, for the superheated, so therefore we can move to the Mollier chart or steam table, whichever is easier to you can do. But the Mollier chart is very convenient for this problem. For the pressure 2, listen, for the throat region, we know two different parameters. One is the pressure P2 and another one is S2. S2 is equal to S1. These three entropies are same. Therefore, we know the value of P2 and S2. Go to the Mollier chart. And in Mollier chart, there is a entropy, that's 6.887 kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin. And we know the pressure. We doesn't know the pressure, but we found the P2. 8.73 bar, that is 8.8 bar. Hence, we will get the value or H2 value 2891. Would you understand this? Yeah, 2891.39 kilojoule per kilogram. And the volume. And from the volume lines, we found the V2 is equal to 0.2559 meter cube per kg. We found all the parameters or the values of throat region. Then come to the exit region. The same kind, we need to analyze, we need to follow the previous step. We have to analyze whether the steam is wet or dry or superheated. Therefore, we need to find the value of X3. We are following the same procedure what we did in the previous as at throat. S3 is equal to SF3 plus X3 into SFG3 from steam table. So look at the given data, the exit pressure P3 has given. So therefore go to steam table. For 5 bar pressure, take all the values. Our formula is S3 is equal to SF3 plus X3 into SFG3. S3 is equal to S2 is equal to S1. All the entropy remains equal because the process is isentropic. There is no heat is transferred. Therefore, S3 is known. From the P3 is equal to 5 bar, we are observing the value for HF, HF3, HFG3 and SF3, SFG3. Right? By substituting all those things in S3 formula, we will get the value of X3. In this problem, I have evaluated by using a very simplest form. Another one method, right? Here, whatever you're seeing in the screen is, we know two different values of exit region. That means the pressure P3 is known, that is 5 bar, and S3 value also known. That means S3 is equal to S1, 6.887. Both the values are known. Therefore, by using the same Mollier chart, look at for the same 6.887, the pressure is 5 bar, that is given. From this, you can find the value of H3, which is clearly shown in the diagram, the Mollier chart given, right? Then from the velocity, from the specific volume line, you can find the value of V3. Both the step you can use, whichever convenient to you. By using the steam table, you can find it, and otherwise, the Mollier chart is very convenient. It ensures your time. It will not eat all your time. So simply within a fraction of second or minute, you can take the readings. Okay. Hence, the nozzle is a kinetic energy boosting device. We need to find the velocity at the throat region and velocity at the exit region. Then only we can find the area of the throat and area of the exit. The formula for the exit velocity or velocity is equal to root of 2000 into h1 minus h2 plus c1 square. Suppose in this problem the c1 is not given, that means the c1 will be neglected. The formula becomes root of 2000 into h1 minus h2. So always remember, in case of convergent divergent nozzle, we need to divide the nozzle into two parts. First, inlet to throat region, then throat to exit region. Now I am considering inlet to throat region only. So therefore, region 1 and region 2 has been considered. The formula becomes root of 2000 into h1 minus h2. C1 is neglected. Root of 2000 is 44.72. And by simplified the equation, we get C2 is equal to 44.72 into root of h1 minus h2. H1, h2, h3 that we found in the previous steps, by applying all those values, we will get the value of C2. The actual formula for C2 is root of 2000 into h1 minus h2 into efficiency of the nozzle. Here there is no losses would be considered. Therefore, there is no losses. That means the efficiency as 100%. 100% in the sense 1. We are considering as 1. That's why I am not shown the 100% value here. By applying all those things, we will get the value of C2 is equal to 538.15 meter per second. Then to find the area, throat area, by using continuity equation, mass M is equal to rho 1 A1 C1 for the process which is equal to rho 2 A2 and C2. Rho, the density, the formula for density is mass by volume. The formula for specific volume is volume by mass. So therefore, there would be a relation between the density and specific volume. The density is nothing but the reciprocal of specific volume. So therefore, instead of the density, I am substituting the specific volume 1 by V. Okay. Now we doesn't need the initial condition. We need to find the throat area at condition at region 2. Therefore, I have considered the second process, rho 2, A2 and C2. By simplifying, instead of rho 2, I've replaced with 1 by small v2, this is specific volume. Therefore, m is given. M will not vary, right? There is no possibility to escape. Therefore, the mass from the beginning, from the inlet to exit is remains same here. Therefore, 1 kilogram per second given in the problem. A2 we are going to find, and C2 value we found in the previous step, and V2 value also we found in the previous steps. By substituting all the values, we found A2 is equal to 4.76 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter square. Then we are going to find the exit velocity C3 and exit area A3. The same step, C3 is equal to 44.72, that is the root of 2000, H1 minus H3 here. Now I am considering this region up to inlet to exit, H1 minus H3. Therefore, C3 is equal, by substituting all the values, we will get the value of exit velocity, 719.98 meter per second. And area, the same whatever we did for the throat. From continuity equation, rho 1 A1 C1 is equal to rho 2 A2 C2 is equal to rho 3 A3 C3 is equal to m mass flow rate. Now we are going to analyze the area. We are going to find the area for the exit region. Therefore, I am considering only the exit, rho 3 A3 C3. Instead of rho, I am just replaced with reciprocal of specific volume, right? Therefore, A3 is the only unknown value. By substituting all the remaining values, you will get the value of A3 is equal to 5.39 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter square. So therefore, the first case was over. We found the value of A2 and A3. Next, for the second case, considering expansion to have 10% of heat loss, there would be a friction loss of 10%. As I already told you, for in case 1, the efficiency of the nozzle is 100. So within that 100, 10% heat energy is lost. Therefore, you need to eliminate this 10% from the 100%. 100% is 100 by 100, you can consider as 1 minus friction loss. How much the friction loss is? 10%, that is 10 by 100, 0.1. 1 minus 0.1 is 0.9, the 90%. So it is a simple imagination. By imagination itself you can do. If it is a 20% of heat loss, out of 100, 20% has lost. Therefore remaining is 80%. Therefore efficiency is 80%. Likewise, right? Next, the formula for velocity, C2 is equal to root of 2000 into H1 minus H2 into efficiency. Already told you, plus C1 square. That C1 square is neglected because the initial velocity is very small compared to the final velocity. Therefore, it can be neglected. Suppose if it is given in the problem as an approach velocity, you should not eliminate the same. Okay, look at the formula. Root of 2000 is 44.72 root of efficiency into H1 minus H2. Efficiency is here 0.9. By substituting all the values, you will get the value of C2. Now, I am going to compare the with and without the friction. When considering the friction of 10%, friction loss of 10%, the value of C2 is 510.53. In the previous step, I found the C2 value is 538.15. Look at the difference, nearly of 28 meter per second has reduced. That means the friction directly affects the velocity of the nozzle. This is a very good proof. We are comparing it with, it's a very good proof. What are all the effects produced by the friction? What are all the parameters changing with the effect of friction? Okay, next, for finding the throat area, again the same continuity equation. By using the continuity equation, all the values are known except the value of A2. By substituting all the values, we found the value of A2 area, 5.01 in 10 to the power minus 4 meter square. The same thing for exit velocity, we have included the efficiency. C3 is equal to 44.72 into root of efficiency into H1 minus H3. Here the efficiency is 90%, so substitute as 0.9. By substituting and calculating all the values, C3 is equal to 683.03 meter per second. With considering the friction of 10% loss, the output velocity is the exit velocity 630, 683. Look at the previous step. Look at the top. Without considering the friction, the exit velocity is 719.98. So we can look at the considerable decrement in velocity due to the effect of friction. It is a very good proof. And then area at exit by using the continuity equation, whatever the same procedure you have followed prior, will get the value of A3 is equal to 5.683 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter square. Hope you understood. Thank you.